A runaway trolley is heading toward 5 people. You can pull a lever to divert it, but doing so will kill one person on the other track. Do you pull the lever? This is the trolley problem, and it has become one of the most influential thought experiments in the history of moral philosophy. The scenario was introduced by philosopher Philippa Foot in 1967. A trolley is out of control. 5 people are tied to the main track. Unable to escape, you stand beside a lever that, if pulled, will redirect the trolley to a side track, where one person is tied. Do nothing. 5 die. Pull the lever. 1 dies. What do you do? When this scenario is presented to people around the world, roughly 85 to 90% say they would pull the lever. The reasoning seems clear. 5 lives saved is better than 1 life lost. This is the logic of consequentialism. The view that the right action is whatever produces the best outcomes. Jeremy Bentham called it the greatest happiness for the greatest number. Now consider a different scenario. Introduced by philosopher Judith Jarvis Thomson in 1985. Same trolley. Same 5 people on the track. But now you are standing on a footbridge above the track. Next to you stands a large man. If you push him off the bridge, his body will stop the trolley. He will die. 5 people will live. The arithmetic is exactly the same as before. 1 death. 5 lives saved. Do you push? When people are asked this version, roughly 85 to 90% say no. They would not push the man. But why? The numbers are identical. 1 death prevents 5 deaths. If pulling the lever was right, why is pushing the man wrong? This is the puzzle. Our moral intuitions give us different answers to what looks like the same arithmetic question. Something is going on beneath the numbers. Immanuel Kant offered one answer. In his moral philosophy, there are certain things you may never do, regardless of consequences. His categorical imperative commands, act so that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or that of another, always as an end, never as a means only. In the footbridge case, you use the large man as a tool. His death is the mechanism by which the 5 are saved. In the lever case, you do not use anyone as a means. You redirect a threat, and the 1 death is a tragic side effect. For Kant, this distinction is everything. Some acts are simply forbidden. This distinction has a name in the history of ethics. The doctrine of double effect, traced back to Thomas Aquinas in the 13th century. The doctrine holds that an action causing harm can be permissible if the action itself is not inherently wrong. The good effect is what you intend. The bad effect is foreseen but not intended as your means. And the good outweighs the harm. Pull the lever. You intend to save 5. The 1 death is foreseen but not your tool. Push the man. His death is the means itself. You cannot describe your act without it. The doctrine tries to capture why intention matters morally, not just outcomes. Judith Jarvis Thomson devised a further test, known as the loop track variant. Imagine the side track loops back and rejoins the main track ahead of where the 5 are tied. If you divert the trolley to the loop and there is no one on it, the trolley circles back and kills the 5. But there is 1 man on the loop. His body stops the trolley. 5 are saved. 1 dies. Now his death is your means. Without him there, the loop accomplishes nothing. The doctrine of double effect seems to condemn this diversion. Yet most people still judge it permissible. The loop case reveals that no single principle neatly resolves all our intuitions. The trolley problem, then, maps the landscape of moral philosophy itself. Consequentialism says, outcomes determine right and wrong, and saving more lives is always better. Deontology says, some acts are wrong in themselves, regardless of consequences. Virtue ethics asks, what would a person of genuinely good character do? And contractualism, developed by philosophers like T.M. Scanlon, asks, What principles could no one reasonably reject? All four traditions illuminate something real about moral life. None of them alone resolves the collision between the lever and the footbridge. Here is what the trolley problem teaches us. It is not really about trolleys. It is about the structure of moral reasoning itself. The gap between calculation and intuition. Between what we can justify in the abstract and what our conscience refuses to permit in the concrete. Perhaps moral intuitions are not failures of reasoning. Perhaps they are data. They may be tracking something important that our explicit theories have not yet captured. The difference between redirecting a threat and weaponizing a person. Between what we cause and what we do. Between the logic of consequences and the dignity of the individual. The trolley has been running for 60 years. The question it poses has not stopped.